Let's start with what Barbara Starr was just talking about in terms of the battlefield right now. This is what Russia wants. Russia wants Donetsk, and it wants Luhansk. It wants to take the entire Donbass region. It has troops coming in this way. It already has troops here. The Russian border is here. In terms of this military aid, you just heard Barbara Starr talk about, General. How? Is there any other way? Is there any other way than bringing it all the way across the country like that? Should the United States and the NATO allies be looking for other, but they would be provocative, delivery options?
Good afternoon, John. Yes, I mean, logistics is always tough, and the best way is what you just drew, from Poland through the middle of Western Ukraine. But to ensure that that is protected, as we've talked about before, the US and NATO need to immediately declare Western Ukraine as a humanitarian assistance zone, from Kyiv in the north to Odessa in the south, and all the way west to the Polish border. And that way they can protect supply lines. They can ensure that air defense systems are in place so that when Russia tries to shoot missiles or artillery across that area, that can be stopped. But that is an issue right now, is trying to get the weapons and munitions to the place where they're needed in the east.
If you were listening at the top of the program, you heard a military commander. I just want to come in closer on Mariupol, a Ukrainian Marine commander who is down here in an iron and steel factory in Mariupol, which has been under siege for weeks, saying he thinks this could be final hours, maybe final weeks or days if they are lucky, appealing for third-party help. And at the State Department, a senior administration official saying there have been conversations with the Russians. They keep falling apart, she says, but there have been conversations about trying to get in here and rescue these people. This is Mariupol here. This is the steel factory here as you see it. General, it's right along the port. I'm showing that. I just want people to see the devastation here, but now I want to pull out to just show it here in Mariupol. Is there any way, if you come out to the broader map, for some NATO country in the middle of a war to go in here and have a rescue mission?
Yeah, I think it's highly unlikely under the circumstances that the Ukrainians find themselves in right now. Brave, courageous defense of Mariupol. It is tying up so many Russian forces. In fact, when the Russians, and I do think that they will finally take Mariupol at some point, what do they have? They have a destroyed city that they can do very little with. But those brave defenders, they certainly deserve to be evacuated, but it is unlikely that they could be evacuated by a third party at this point.
So as you put this all together, General, help me understand. The U.S. defense officials say so far, we're in day 3 or so of what they believe is this new Russian offensive out here in the east. The Pentagon would say no major territorial gains, but they would also say that Russia is deliberately being more methodical this time, that Russia is learning from some of the mistakes it made over here. So as you discuss this new $800 million package already being delivered, another $800 million package being considered, as the Russian troops try to do this, and obviously they have forces down here as well. What is most important for the United States, other NATO countries trying to help Ukraine with heavy offensive weaponry? What systems do you think are most critical at this moment?
I think what's most critical right now, the artillery systems and the munitions, of course, but tanks. And tanks weren't a part of the package. They need tanks to be able to quickly maneuver as a quick reaction force along with other forces the Ukrainians have as the Russians try to envelop them. And then, of course, aircraft. Release the MiGs, the MiG aircraft from Poland, Romania, and others who want to give this to the Ukrainians. They could use that right now. Now, the Russians have, nearly 80,000 troops in that area, but it still may not be enough. This is the same area that the Russians have tried to take now for 8 years. The Ukrainians are dug in. It's trench warfare in some places. They're trying to outmaneuver the Ukrainians by enveloping them. But with quick reaction forces, and that's what the Ukrainians appear to also have, they can parry each of those blows as they happen.
General Tardis, as always, sir, grateful for your insights. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.